My name is Daniel and this is Fatherless. At the age of 24, he realized he's been fatherless his whole life. He uses it as an excuse of why he abuses his wife and why he neglects the children that he's had with other mysterious women that he barely took the time to even learn their last name. He blamed it all on the father that he never knew, feeling like he had nothing to aspire to. Not realizing that that excuse can only go so far, and as a matter of fact, it only goes as far as you allow it to come out of your mouth and as many times as you fall short and fail. So he's 24, fatherless since the age of 4, when his dad went out for milk and just didn't come back because I guess he didn't love him no more. And he blamed himself and internalized it that his mama spewed and spitted evil intentions of what she thought he could be, because every time she looked at him, it reminded her of him. And the him that walked away couldn't even take the time to say, "Son, I'm sorry," and this is why he lives a life as a sorry man. What is his excuse? You're 24. At some point, you got to let those things go. Yeah, you grew up without a father, and there's no reason to bother now, but as a matter of fact, it should be the very reason that it causes your heart to run after God right now. But you're settling for being less than a man because your father wasn't a man enough to stand before you, proving nothing more than that you are your father's son because you chose to be a failure to your children. He's only 24, his son is going on 4, his wife wondering will he ever love her anymore. He may use the excuse for his abuse that he grew up without a father, but that's no reason for him to barter with the love for the one that he had already called to be his wife. Does Christ abuse the church because the church is the body of Christ, so does Christ abuse it? So she's your wife. How do you justify abusing her? He's been fatherless since the age of 4. So when he hit puberty, he felt like he had been nudity because he didn't have anyone to teach him the proper way to treat a woman. So now he's an abuser, a two-time loser, abusing his wife and neglecting his son. And now he wonders where everything went wrong. And it reflects back on the time when his mama told him that he was no good and he would be just like his father, a loser. And so her words sunk into his soul and began to take root and take hold of his heart. Now he's so cold that you can't even get a warm touch from him. And the only time he shows her any affection is when he beating her into a coma or unconscious, you see. He doesn't realize that one day she won't wake up, and not only will their child be fatherless, but they'll be motherless. See, he's the epitome of what a man should never be. No matter what the situation we've come from. As men, we are expected to be leaders in our families and in our communities. So whether you grew up with or without a father, that is no reason to bother with the way that you treat the family that God has blessed you with. It is then, therefore, a greater condemnation because you have been given the warnings of what a life without a father would be. Yet you chose to take the life of the mother, and now you're spending life in prison because you grew up fatherless. Now your child is going to grow up fatherless and motherless. The only difference is that child will know who you is and know that you're locked away for life because you killed his mother and you took a life. And now you're perpetuating generational sin because of the life that you chose to live in instead of breaking those things so your child would be free and he would know what it meant to be a man. So if you take nothing else away from this, don't cause your child to be fatherless like you were fatherless though they know you. Because just because your child knows who you are and that you live in the same home doesn't mean that child is still growing up fatherless. But be the man that you've been called to be. Stand how you have been called to stand so that you can break the cycle of fatherless homes in your family tree so that your children will see that having a father is one of the most precious and honorable things. So be a man. Stop laying your hands on that woman and treat that child like you love them because they're a precious gift from God just like the wife he is giving you. And watch how God blesses you. So growing up fatherless is no excuse to be less than what a man is called to be. Because manhood is defined by God, not by your sexual paralysis or your sexual ability to perform. But you are a man because you know how to be a man as you follow your role and you fulfill the purpose to which God has given you life. Be a man. Be the father that you've been called to be, no matter how fatherless you felt growing up, because you see therein is your greatest blessing. You have the ability to teach your children how to be men and how to be loved by a man. My name is Daniel. This has been Fatherless. Thank you for watching. God bless you. Like, subscribe. Let me know what you think.